Yo, what is good with y'all? Cam, Tripzy, and for today's video, I'm gonna be talking about how I shot my first music video. So just to start it off, I actually had a few people ask me what I used and what I edited with. I kid you not, like on everything I loved, this is all I used. I used a small rig. I'll probably put a photo of it. And a video of it somewhere up here, but I hooked it up to the XH2 body, which I had just recently gotten, and my tripod. Yeah, that was literally all I used. So how did this come about? Like, what made me want to do a music video? So it was something that I was kind of getting like influenced and encouraged by my friends to do for a while, but if I'm gonna just be honest and straight up with y'all, I was scared to do it because I was scared of the failure. I've been practicing photography for years now, like going on 8 to 9 years. Never really ever had thoughts of doing music videos. They're a lot more popular now than when I first started photography, but there was still some, like a little bit of fear in me, like, you know, I'm gonna just stay in my lane instead of thinking like, hey, let me try this out, let me see what it does for me, let me do something new. I would say like late 2021 into all of 2022, I spent a lot of time diving into things that I was like afraid to do, like kind of just getting into my fears and really just working on myself, and it really helped me out a lot. So near the end of 2022, I really doubled down and I was like, I'm gonna do this music video thing. Long story short, connected with Kurt on it. Kurt, if you're watching this, shout out to you, bro. Thank you. The original song we were supposed to do was Let It Be. Communication kind of fell out. We're both pretty busy people. Didn't happen. Late winter, early spring this year, I hit him back up like, yo, I really want to do this. He was like, all right, bet. By this time, Escape was out. Personally, my favorite song of his. I was like, yo, bro, I still want to do this if you're down, yada yada. Y'all know how that convo goes. There wasn't too much talk about the video shoot beforehand. He pretty much left everything up to me. The only thing he sent was like the aesthetic of the music video he kind of was trying to match. It was an all black and white video, and I was already thinking I want to do a black and white only video, and I was gonna ask him about that. So that was perfect. I kind of almost instantly thought of the location. I can shoot at like 3-4 different spots in this one area and you wouldn't even know it's the same spot. So once everything was locked in and settled and we had a date, I went and bought a small rig. I'm really grateful I didn't buy a gimbal. I don't think I'll ever really buy a gimbal anytime soon, but I did get a small rig because I was already brainstorming certain ideas and certain shots I wanted to get out the video, which I'll explain further on. I just felt more comfortable going into the shoot having something else besides just my camera and a tripod. Also too, I listened to Escape non-stop for like 2.5-3 days in a row. When I was at work, I was just letting it play in the background. Throughout the day, I was just having it play in my headphones and I was walking around. As I was listening to it, I was able to brainstorm more ideas of shots I wanted and the look I really wanted to get out of the music video. I had learned some of the basics about video as well. I did this like the night before. I kind of just knew like video is really just a bunch of good photos in one. That's kind of always been my theory on videography, even though I've never really dwelled into it. Videography is really just a bunch of good photos bunched up in one, and that'll give you a good video. A lot of my success really came from my preparation, which was listening to the song, having an idea, me and him agreeing on an aesthetic, and me kind of knowing the spot I'm shooting at and understanding how I wanted to go about the music video in order to get the best outcome possible. My preparation definitely carried me, because if I had kind of just depended on my knowledge of video and trying to figure things out, it would have been a mess. So now we have the day of the video shoot. I believe we did this like in the middle of May. Yeah, we really had the perfect weather for this video shoot. It was cloudy and rainy, and it was rainy, like it was kind of raining hard at times, but it was never too bad for us to have to stop. There were certain points where it was raining pretty hard, but it wasn't really hitting that point where we had to just stop for a little bit, but it looked really good in the video. I'll show some clips where like you can kind of see rain falling, or you can see rain on the ND filter. The rain was very helpful. Definitely helped elevate the aesthetic we were looking for with the video. Pretty much when it came to the tripod stuff and the looks I wanted to get out of the tripod, I executed every single look I wanted to go for. So I got 3 shots of Kurt in the walkway leading up to like the train track. I got a full body shot, which was really wide. I got an upper body shot, and then I got a shoulder up shot of him. I used all 3 different versions of those clips. I also had an idea where where I wanted to get some shots of him angled up, so I had the tripod really low and the camera angled up towards him. But we did 2 looks of that, and I believe with the building and the trees in the background, and then with it being such a cloudy day, especially the clip where the rain is falling, like, it looks so good. Even out the camera, I was telling him like, bro, this is amazing. I don't really think he understood, or maybe he did, I'm not sure, but me, just like my photography, I was kind of kicking in, and I was like, yeah bro, we really got something. So we did like 2 or 3 runs of those. That worked out really well. One on-site look that I came up with was, so I noticed this tree here, and I noticed the tree obviously had like a lot of leaves over it. When you stood under the tree, the rain wasn't hitting you, but when you stood right outside the tree, the rain was falling, and I had the camera a little bit outside of where like the tree branches end, so you can still see some remnants of rainfall as he's performing the song. I did a clip of it wide angled, I believe, and then I did one a little bit tighter. I liked how both of those looked as well. So then after we did that and we got the tripod shots out the way, I put on the small rig. I'm about to bring it back. I'm not gonna lie, even without it like being on the camera, it still looks mad cool. This was only like, I think in total this was like $140, whereas like the cheapest gimbal was like $200. This definitely was a game changer. This mixed with IBIS is like the perfect recipe for success. When I ordered the small rig and I set it up, I noticed that I could still control the camera with the top handle while the side handles were open. There's certain instances in the song where like obviously his tone gets a little bit more aggressive because of what he's saying, and I thought to myself, I didn't really know if this would work, but I was like, okay, maybe at certain instances of the song I could direct him to grab the side of the small rig and kind of move it around. Whoa, sorry if that was loud. I wanted some clips of him grabbing the sides of the small rig and moving it around and performing the song as if he's grabbing the shoulders of the person he like wrote about, or the situation he wrote about, and like really telling them the song like to their face, or like just explaining it to somebody. Like the same emotion you would get if you can really relate to the song and you hear the song is the same emotion I wanted the people to feel as he's performing the song for the video shoot. And it really made a lot of sense. First couple times we did it, it didn't really come out the correct way, but I saw it and I was like, nah, like I was definitely onto something. This is definitely working. And we did it like 5 or 6 different times and it worked out. There's a clip in the beginning of the video where he does this, and then there's a second clip at the end. This is definitely my favorite cut of the entire music video. I'll play it right now. Yeah, that part of it just like, bro, like that's for sure the best clip I had gotten all day. I also had given him some advice to push the camera away or throw the camera down, kind of like when you're done holding it or when you feel like you've said enough, just to add more dramatics to it and evoke more of the emotion out the song in its physical form, like in the music video. Also, while I was using the small rig and I was getting different angled clips of him, I was moving around in circles with him and I was telling him to perform the song as if he's in the middle of a mosh pit. This was an on-site thing too. I gave him some advice to throw fake punches. I don't even know if people really noticed that in the music video because they're kind of fast cutting. When I was able to add the punches in between certain cuts of the song, I added it not in between the snares of the song, but there's like a part of the song where the drummer's hitting the side of the snare. It's like, it's exactly like that. It's kind of fast because again, it's like, but it added something to the video. I thought it looked cool. I'm pretty sure Kurt noticed it. If you didn't, he'll probably watch it back and notice it now. But yeah, if you didn't notice and you watched the video, definitely go back and watch it and you'll notice now. Yeah, I feel like even with the tripod shots, I think the small rig shots and me getting up close and personal, me emulating a mosh pit vibe, me having him control the small rig, probably the most important part, and the punches all combined in one really like set the tone for a lot of the video. That mixed with the tripod clips I got really just made it all flow for me, and everything worked out for me in the end when I got to editing the video. Yeah, that's pretty much it about the day of shooting. So the last part obviously is the editing. A difficult part about the editing was a lot of the clips where I was following him around in a circle, kind of emulating like a mosh pit. I had too many of those clips in there because they were so good. Like I added a small segment of it in the beginning, and I knew the second half of the song where I added those clips in there again, I knew that was the best run of it. I'm gonna play it again because it was really good. So I'm gonna play it one more time because y'all gotta see this, bro. Like peep game, for real. So right, let's say you're Kurt and you're like this, right? Obviously, he's throwing it away. Not literally, but he's throwing it out of his way. It kind of went like this. So the reason why it flows back and forth is because it went like this and I just let it go and it kind of came a little this way and then I let it go again and then it evened out. And it created that. Like, bro, because I had listened to the song so much, I knew at the, like, when the drummer hits the side of the snare, when it goes like, at that part, I knew I wanted transitions and cuts. I knew I wanted some flashes, but also on top of that, just a knowledge of me knowing what an alternative and what like a rock video is supposed to kind of be like. Just me being smart about it. Besides that, I just used all Premiere presets. I didn't use After Effects. I didn't use any LUT. I didn't pay for anything. I literally used flashes. I keyframed white backgrounds. I used Premiere transitions because again, it's an alternative video. There's no real crazy effects like that. It's just something I understood. Honestly, now that I really think about it, and this is kind of crazy because I haven't thought about this before. Growing up, like as a kid, you know, like a kid from Jersey City, nobody's really listening to like rock or alternative music, especially within my families and both sides of the family. Nobody's really listening to that. Everybody's listening to everything else. Majority of people are listening to like rap and hip hop music. I didn't listen to it all the time, but I definitely would listen to different genres of music, and I actually would enjoy a lot of alternative music. So I think, like I'm saying that to say, I don't want to say it was necessarily an influence, but the ease of me being able to go into this, especially with the song that's so like out of the box for most people from this city, and kind of understanding how things need to be and the flow of things, came from my childhood upbringing of just listening to alternative music on my own, which is really crazy to think about because I never thought about that before. If I were to sit here and think about 24-year-old Kim, if he didn't have that, not necessarily era, because I still listen to it to this day, but if I just never really found that out and figured that out for myself and it was just rap music, I probably would have never picked Kurt or any of his songs to do my first music video with. I think the only reason why I was so comfortable and why I was able to adapt so well is strictly due to the fact that a bit of my childhood I had experience in just knowing and just learning what alternative music was, and I just kind of understand the vibe of it. I never really thought about that till now. But alright, I think that's pretty much it. I've been recording for a while. This video is probably going to be long. I know this will help some people out because a lot of people were asking me how I went about it, what programs I used, what setup I used. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. If you watched this whole video, I appreciate you greatly. Big thank you to Kurt again for trusting me and letting me do this. I will add a link to the video, of course. I'll have a link in the description. But yeah, appreciate you again. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. All right, I'm gone. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.